And welcome to Let's Fly VFR, where it's about time we did a bit of review of where we are now. We're at 11.35. Here we are starting with the glorious Baron, and we're up in New York. Because one of the many things that has now been updated is some of the New York and the Washington scenery. So since we're in America and the last couple of flights have been in the US, thought we would have a look at what's available. So let's get this Baron up in the air, and we're starting at Guadia International, and then we're going to head down to JFK before we duck over to Washington. So let's get in the air and have a bit of a look and see what's around. Now 11.35 has brought a lot of new updates, some not major, nothing really in the performance area. We're still waiting heavily for, waiting impatiently for Vulcan to turn up. But that sounds like it might still take a little while, and we want it to be correct, don't we? So we just have to be patient. So a lot of updated things. Aircraft are being updated, lots of sim objects, boats, fuel and bleed air systems have been updated to be more accurate through it. The new F-mod for the B737 and the C90B. So if you haven't flied those aircraft, there's some good updates in there for you. And even the Baron here had an update on the last update that I saw. It certainly got a mention with some new stuff. So let's fly across the city and have a little bit of a look and see what's out there. So that looks like that is Central Park. Feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I haven't ever been to the US. I'd love to go, but I just haven't been there yet. So let's head down and have a bit of a look at what the city looks like. Getting good frame rates. I have backed the system off a little bit from the last video, just because the performance wasn't there. And when you're got a mid-range system, you just have to be flexible. If you're not quite getting the frames, then you just have to play with it and bring it back down. So yeah, we got what have we got here on the left? We've got yeah, all of Central Park there, the main city. And if you know your geography well, there'll be well, the Boston River is what we're over, so you know what that's famous for, don't you? They've made movies around that landing. And we've got Queens, Manhattan. We're going to go down and have a quick look at that Statue of Liberty as well, because I think that has been modelled. There we go. Looking very blue as we duck around. Let's go back and have another look. We're just stuck around the island. So there's a lot of these things that have been updated. You guys in the US have been spoiled because your cities look a lot better than, but at least the Australian ones. I think the UK cities, London, looks pretty good as well from the air. So let's fly back around, head back in, and then we'll go and have a look at JFK in a moment. We'll go and land over there as we go past the city. Just enjoy the view. Got a little bit on the cloud front happening. It's not perfectly blue sky. No, I see too many people fly with just blue skies. Yeah, it's good for performance, but it's not that realistic. So this was a bit of real world weather. So today we had a bit of a crappy day around New York. So now we're heading over to the right now. We'll just head over and then get down into a JFK. And then we'll pop over and have a look at some of the stuff that's now available in Washington. I like that thing flying past. It looks really good, doesn't it? So let's put this little twin engine, very nice aircraft. I've been enjoying flying this around a little of late. Just hold that nose up. Speed just right. And we'll put this thing down on the ground. Hope you're all having a really great week. Got the gear down there coming in. And certainly interested to hear that the new performance that we're getting with the new Horizon 3 chips, guys. If you're still running on an old one, it might be worth considering about a 50% improvement in frames. So if you're at about the 30, you'll end up at about 50 according to some of the reviews I've seen. So let's head over to Washington and have a look. So here we are at certainly one of the major airports here in Washington. Do you know where it is? Come on, it's on the north, or is it the south of the city? Let's get off the ground and go and have a bit of a look around, eh? It's Ronal Regan. Now you guys have got all sorts of really nice statues and things that you will immediately recognise. Those of us from overseas may not get them initially. But we have the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Memorial, and we're going to duck up past Capitol Hill there, which is just ahead of us. And we've got the football stadium all lined up a little bit further away. So let's get a little bit closer and just have a look at the detail as we zip past Capitol Hill. Everybody wave to the president on the way past as we head down. We're heading back across the river here, so immediately ahead, this vacant area to ahead of us here is Arlington, so an Arlington National Cemetery. If you're not familiar, this is where they have the tomb of the unknown soldier. JFK's grave is also down to the left there as well. So it's quite a pretty area, I'm sure, considering the solemnness of what it is. And I'm sure you recognise the Pentagon over to the right there. I didn't realise everything was so close together. And if you're I think it would be a football fan, I think you will recognise this little piece of scenery as we do a bit of a fly around. A quick read it. Yeah, it's the Redskins. Nice stadium they've got there. So heading around, so again, just wrapping up, what other things have we got since 11.33? We've got like nearly 450 new 3D airports. We've now got a total of 10,257 3D airports in X-Plane 11. So there's a lot of people out there doing a lot of really great work, both working on just small scenery items like this, something that's as prominent as Capitol Hill and the area around it, and some of the other airports which I think, unless you're a local, we may not discover, but there's a lot being done out there in the background. So let's head in and put ourselves down at Ronal Regan again. Okay, you can mark me out of 10 on the landing, guys. Got the gear down, got it holding it up. So overall, lots of new stuff happening there. There's lots of improvements. It's pretty constant. We're just going to have to look forward to Vulcan turning up. That might be late in the year. Maybe it'll stretch into next year. We'll just have to be patient. And that will be certainly a big improvement for the AMD GPU people, the red team, because that should bring you guys up to the same equivalent as the NVIDIA team is currently getting with their frame rate. So hope you enjoy that. Catch you again real soon back here at Let's Fly VFR. And don't forget to subscribe. Bye.